Hi, my name is Jonah Fiedler, and I will be talking to you today about utilizing the peer mediators. Everyone has had fights with their friends, and everyone knows it's no fun. But sometimes, fights can be taken a little too far. After that, you may be sent to the principal's office, or to a dean. But there is another option. Peer mediation is a program where students are trained in peaceful conflict resolution, and then use those skills to help their peers with their conflicts.
One of the things that we talked to when we talked to the trainers who came from Washington about what are the hallmarks of success of a peer mediation program, I think first of all is everybody has to buy into it, and it may be uncomfortable for certain teachers and administrators and even students to think that students and teachers can give power to students, to give students agency for resolving their own disputes.
One of my favorite memories from peer mediation is just getting to do the role-playing skits in preparation and practice, because they always end up really funny and they're helpful. But you get to act and it's fun.
I would say the role plays. In training mediators, it's not enough just to give them the information. They have to practice it. It's all about the experience, and the more you do it, the more you understand it and you're ready for things that come up. And so the role plays have always been fun, but they're also a great learning opportunity for the students who are learning to do mediation. And they can get a little silly sometimes, but at the end of the role play, I think students really do learn a valuable lesson on what it's like to be in the mediator role, but also what it's like to be in a student role in a party to a conflict. And that's really valuable information to have.
I think one time during the training we had a parent who came with her middle schooler, and we were all that had never happened to us before, and we thought, okay, I guess she was we didn't talk to her too much, we didn't have time, so we said sure, just go ahead and sit in. And I think she really enjoyed it because she came back later and said that she thought the training was very good, and this was a family with a lot of kids. I want to say at least 5 kids, and she said she thought it had made a huge difference for their kids who are in middle school. So that was pretty amazing.
For this project, I had the opportunity to interview Pamela Poon, a community mediation member, Elaine Van Dyke and Linda Hedgeland, who are 2 former peer mediation coordinators, Lynn Holsinger, the current coordinator at Bozeman High, and Jacqueline Alexa and Zoe Johnson, who are 2 current peer mediators at Bozeman High School.
So I would recommend mediation as a great opportunity to learn how to resolve conflict. It puts the responsibility on the disputants, so that hopefully the solution is more personal and heartfelt. It lets students resolve their conflicts and maybe have less severe consequences than if they'd have to go to the deans or to an administrator or principal. And I just feel like you learn a lot through the whole process. And again, these are tools that you can use your whole life.
It's important to know how peer mediation works. Peer mediation deals with conflicts such as jokes taken too far, name-calling, fights before they get violent, and many other kinds of disputes. The program never deals with drugs, alcohol, or physical violence. When students have a dispute, they are normally referred to mediation by a teacher. However, they can also be referred by another student, family member, or they can even do it themselves. Once both parties agree to do the mediation, the peer mediation coordinator finds mediators and sets the date and time. In the mediation, the seating is set up with peer mediators diagonal from each other, and the disputants diagonal from each other. The seating is done this way so the power is balanced and everyone feels safe. The mediators then introduce themselves and have the disputants introduce themselves as well. After introductions, the mediators explain what peer mediation is and have them agree to the following rules: no name calling, no physical fighting, no interrupting, make an effort to solve the problem, and keep everything said confidential. Once both students agree to the rules, one of them starts by telling their side of the story.
I would tell teachers and faculty who are considering referring students to peer mediation to definitely fill out a referral form. My job is to meet with the students to see if it would be a good fit for them. And sometimes we think that maybe a conflict is too complicated, but in reality it really isn't. It all comes down to communication and giving the parties an opportunity to come together and have meaningful discussion.
My favorite memory from the program was probably 6th grade, first ever mediation I'd watched. The issue got resolved very quickly, and then they ended up spending like half an hour talking about football regulations, and it was just the weirdest circumstance. I just remember me and my other person who was observing with me, we were just sitting there like, what is going on? And thankfully that was the only time where that has ever happened, and I've had incredible experiences otherwise, but just a funny memory that I immediately flash back to whenever I think of that sort of thing. So, yeah.
The training provides many useful skills for the peer mediators. The disputants in a mediation also can pick up on some of these skills.
Because I think it teaches them a skill to, rather than just doing a disciplinary action, they can learn a skill that they can use in the future when they find themselves in conflict.
I've seen mediation work in some of the worst conflicts that two people can be in, and I've seen mediation work in minor conflicts, and the process is the same, and it has a great outcome when the parties are there to genuinely resolve their conflict and move forward.
It's always quicker for an administrator to say, I'm going to tell you what to do, you're going to be suspended, or you're going to be expelled, or you're going to be in ICE. That's a shortcut, but it often covers up what the real problems are.
They come to me in ISS, and it's just a discipline thing. They don't learn any skills. They don't learn how to not have the same thing happen again. Especially like if it's an argumentative fight sort of thing, where if they go through mediation, if they take it seriously, they can learn the skills to not find themselves in that position again.
Peer mediation provides a way for students to talk about their problems and come up with their own solution. Having the students do this themselves creates a happier and safer environment. The history of peer mediation and how it started in Bozeman reflects this.
The peer mediation program in Bozeman began as a result of the Columbine shooting, which happened in spring of 1999. It was very chaotic here, and students were very angry with what the administration did, which essentially took away all backpacks, no long coats, no locked lockers, and they locked all but one door of the school. If they didn't come in the right door, if they went out the wrong door, they had to run around the whole thing, and people were just furious. And they, in fact, were planning to stage a walkout. So what we did with the schools is they asked the mediation center to have a dialogue with students. So we said, we will do all of the middle students and as many high school students who want to come. So we did both middle schools, 600 students, and the high school, which I think about 200 students came. And we asked the students whether they felt safe, if they could name teachers that helped them feel safe, and what they might require that would make them feel safer if they didn't feel safe. And so one of the things they asked for was a peer mediation program. The administration decided to bring in a company from, I think it was Bellevue, Washington, just outside of Seattle. And a bunch of us from the Mediation Center asked if we could attend so that we could help keep the program going as volunteers. We sat in on a training at the Bozeman Public Library and decided that we would not only help students get trained, we would advocate for the program with the administration and support it any way we could. So that's how we started doing it.
One of the great things about peer mediation is that it gives students an opportunity to be part of the decision-making process. It allows students to learn to solve their own problems with their own solutions.
So I think administrators and faculty and even parents have to realize that this is a time when students can step up and show that they can resolve their own disputes. But you have to leave that open for them and not have it be so closely held by all those other folks, that students don't have the opportunity to kind of blossom into their role as in dispute resolution. And that includes peer mediators and the kids themselves who are in conflict. Some of our best peer mediators are kids who know what it is to be in conflict and how much nicer it is when you can figure out a way to work things out. So the door should be kept open and the mind should be kept open for a program like this to succeed.
In recent years, along with the program being underused, the program has lost quite a few mediators.
Stick with it. Stick with it and enjoy it. Don't get too caught up in the technicalities. Enjoy doing what you're doing because it can be really fun and rewarding.
It's taught me a lot of really helpful skills. The program has been incredibly helpful in helping me solve my own problems with my friends and stuff, and I think just helping people be able to gain those skills themselves is really nice, and I've really enjoyed being able to do that for my own friend group.
Yeah, okay. I have faith in the program, and I just want to follow through with it and just develop skills over time and just help as many people as I can. And especially since so many people have dropped out, I feel like I should keep going so that we can still have a program.
There are many people who have faith in this program and see the opportunity it brings for students to learn and grow and help make their school a better place.
I would encourage teachers and faculty to look into peer mediation and give it a fair chance. I would hope that they could see for themselves how it would benefit their schools and how it makes a difference in the climate of the school.
This program is far too important to let it go unused. I hope everyone can see the benefits of the program and look into using the program for disputes in their own classrooms, friendships, and any other disputes they might have. Thank you to all of my interviewees for letting me interview them. It was wonderful to talk to you all and hear what you had to say about the program. And remember, mediation is safe, confidential, and it works.